Welcome to Black People Love Paramore, a podcast to try to help Black people feel seen. Please feel free to donate to the show at the link in the show notes. And please rate us and write us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. 5 stars only because we are 5-star bitches, word to Yo Gotti. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and all of those things. I'm your host, Sequoia, and today joining me to talk about My Chemical Romance, we have writer, content creator, and my friend, Jenay. Jenay, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
I mean, that was a great introduction. So yeah, I am Jenay. I'm based in Dallas. I've known Sequoia for probably like a year or two now.
Yeah, 2 years.
But yeah, I'm a freelance writer, newly freelance writer in like the lifestyle, wellness, mental health space, all of that kind of stuff, you know, just trying to spread the joy through my writing, whether it's with brands or people. So I'm new to it. I quit my corporate job like 5 months ago. So I'm free from that. I used to work in marketing before that, doing the whole influencer marketing thing on the brand side. Before that, I was in events. Before that,
Nice.
I was working in the music industry.
Nice.
So music is my first love. I used to work in artist management, working with bands like the Somerset, Neck Deep from UK, 303. So I was like all in that, very much like Warped Tour world. So yeah, so I'm an elder emo. So that's me.
God, what a time. Wow.
What a time. I've lived many lives.
Wow.
And now I'm happy to be in the current one that I'm in.
Warped Tour and 303 really just unlocked a whole bunch of memories. I had a song of the week picked out for this episode, but now I'm feeling like I'm going to switch over to a 303 song because absolutely 100%. Okay, great. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you worked in music like that. This totally tracks, though.
I did, right out of college.
Jenay has like public playlists online that have followers. Like the actual music taste is vetted by the public. So check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure. Okay. Before we get into talk about My Chemical Romance, we're going to have In My Defense. And My Defense is our segment where we bring one of our unpopular opinions to defend for you all. Jenay, do you have an unpopular opinion for us?
I do. Yeah. I was thinking today what it was going to be. And I'm like, how deep do I want to go? I'm like, what do I have like strong opinions about? Because sometimes like you don't have opinions on everything, you know, like you don't. I was scrolling through Twitter. I'm like, you really did not need to say that.
Oh, God, I just got off Twitter. But yes.
Right? But for today, I'm a little nervous to share this, honestly.
Ooh,
my
a juicy one.
Like unpopular opinion or take is I do not like the term BIPOC.
Oh yeah,
I definitely despise. Okay, good, because I feel like I still see it quite often, and every single time I cringe, and I don't really know exactly why. I just feel like back in 2020 when that was, I believed it was coined then, or when it was like more used, I guess. I just felt like at the same time it was like lumping everyone together but still keeping us separate in a weird way. And I'm like, it just doesn't sit right with me. So like I've never really used it, like whether in conversation or writing. Like I'd rather just use POC, or like my preference is to just be real direct and be like, that person's Black, I'm Chinese, like you're Afro-Dominican. Like I want to be very specific instead of just lumping all these communities together. So that's my take. And I don't know, I'm always like hesitant to bring that up because I feel like it's still such a widely used term. And I just, every time I see it, I'm like, ugh. I hope no one ever asks me to use it in like an article when I'm writing, because I like feel a certain way about it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I would say just push back personally, but I also have not written professionally in like a few years now, so maybe that's not the best take. But I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. Okay, I don't like the term. It feels like it's counterproductive to what it was intending to do. It was intended to be more specific than POC, but at the end of the day, it's very much not more specific than POC.
No,
it's
not at all.
More or less the same. And just I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You can go ahead and call me Black. I like the specificity, like you said.
Yes.
You can just call somebody exactly what they are. Being non-white does not make you a part of another group. Like, non-white is not a group. I don't like it.
Nope.
It's still not. Like very centering whiteness-esque. You could just call me what I am instead of like.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that are using it
always
Primarily.
Always. I've never seen a person of color use it, or I've seen multiple people of color say they don't like it. They've been like, no, we don't like that one. Like, stop. And it seems like it's just the new, especially corporate jargon. Like, it's the new woke corporate jargon thing. It's like, oh yeah, BIPOC. I'm like, it's virtue signaling. Using that particular one is like very virtue signaling. Anyways, I won't get too deep into that one now. But yeah, no, I agree. That's a good one for sure. I don't have it in my defense this week. I've told you all a billion times. I've said everything I'm willing to say. So we're gonna move on to Song of the Week. Jenay, I'm excited to hear what you have.
This was honestly so hard because, you know, like, I'm a music person. I'm constantly listening to music. I'm making my playlist. I'm watching music videos. Like, I don't know if people still watch music videos, but I love them.
Nice.
And when I was thinking about this, I feel like I wanted to talk a little bit about girls on TikTok that are blowing up. So one that really comes to mind is, I don't know if you know it, but Hemlock Springs.
Oh yeah, I met her.
She had that viral song, Girl. You've met her?
I did. I met her at the Spotify Rock Frequency dinner that I went to a couple months ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, her song Girlfriend. And I just remember when that was going viral, and I think it was being coined as like the awkward Black girl anthem. And I was like, yes, that's me. Like, I resonate with that. And I feel like her and a couple other girls I've seen come up through like the TikTok world, they're like finally being recognized for genres that are like normally you wouldn't think of us in. So like, they're not just like the R&B and soul girlies. They're not the hip hop rap girlies. Like, they're surprising people. And she really reminds me of like bedroom indie pop type vibes. And like, who is it? Marina and the Diamonds. Like, she really reminds me of that. And I still play that song. And when I hear it in a store, I'm just like, oh, whoa. Like, it makes me really excited for her and like any other type of artist that's coming up in that space.
Yeah. Oh, good for her that it's like going viral and stuff. When I met her, I was not super aware of her music or anything of the sort. So it is really cool to hear that other people are very aware of it and you hear it in stores and stuff. Good for Hemlock Springs. I'm very happy for her.
Yeah, I love it. And I think I don't know if she has a label yet. Like, I'm not sure if she just got signed recently because she released a new music video for a different song. And the production level was like light years ahead of the first one, which I still like how like low budget the first one was. Like, it was still cool and like felt on brand for her. But I'm like, okay, is she getting some help? Like, maybe that TikTok money is coming through. Not that like TikTok pays much, I guess. But yeah, I'm like excited for her. So that's my song of the week.
Very good for her. Have you heard of a band, Meet Me at the Altar?
Oh yeah,
I also met them at the same dinner.
Oh, cool.
And I listened to their songs and I was like, yo, this is hitting me. This is doing exactly what it
it's like what I wish we had back in the day. Like, you know, I used to have like a subscription to like alternative press, and like we didn't see anyone that looked like us. It was just white dudes and Paramore or like whoever,
like Taking Back Sunday,
which like gotta love them. Yeah, but no one looked like us. So it's really exciting that like this generation has bands and artists like that.
It really is. And it's like very good nostalgic music too. Like I feel so happy listening to it. I'm like, wow, this they're living my dream. Especially the folks from Meet Me at the Altar. I love. They're living my dream. They are absolutely living my dream. Okay, you made me want to change my song of the week. The initial song that I brought was Uprising by Muse. Do you remember that song?
I do.
I loved that song when I was young. That was like, I don't know, that one was doing something for my spirit. I really liked it.
That's a throwback.
Isn't it? And then, but now I want to do a 303 song. And this one is a little bit of a deep cut, which is crazy to say for 303 because what the fuck is a 303 deep cut? It was Rich Man. Do you remember Rich Man?
Oh my God, this is going to be really bad since I worked for them, but I don't.
That's fair. No, that's very fair.
Okay, I'm going to like, that's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut. It's on their first album. I had physical copies of both their albums. I don't know. I was unwell. I was unwell.
What a time.
Yes, it was on their first album. It was like a more rappy song than their other songs. They always kind of skewed kind of rappy, but that one was like the most rappy. And as someone who was also a rap girly at heart, that one really sucked to me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I played it recently for my boyfriend. He was like, this is bad.
You're like, whatever, it's my song.
Oh, You think it's bad? He was like, Sequoia, this is objectively bad. And I was like, So I wonder how much the nostalgia is carrying me on that one. But if you haven't listened to Rich Man by 303, do it because it's fun.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do that immediately after that. And just so you know, they were amazing to work with, like my favorite people to work with. They were very different from like what their persona was, I feel like. They were the sweetest guys, like literally sending me like thank you cards around the holidays, like stuff like that. Like they were really sweet to work with, which was pleasant.
Wow, that is adorable. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah. Have you ever, this is a sidebar a little bit. Have you seen on the internet where people are like, oh, so-and-so is the evil doppelganger of so-and-so, somebody else?
I have.
Okay. So I think that like Tyler, the Creator, is the evil doppelganger of Lil Nas X. Similarly,
oh my God.
I think 303 are the evil doppelgangers of Metro Station. Like, all of it is the same energy. Janay's like, no.
Yeah, I almost would say it the opposite way.
Okay, not evil isn't like bad, but like just like, one of them is chaotic, like chaotic, like this is pure chaos.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's true.
And like out here,
my God, Metro Station. Didn't they like try to come back? I feel like I saw like something about them in recent years, and I was like, ugh. Because all of those bands are coming back and doing like emo nights, like whether they're just doing like DJ sets or like still doing some of the tours, like that one that's in Vegas, that festival. I forget like When We Were Young.
Oh
like,
yeah, When We Were Young.
So many of those bands are coming back, which is fun. But I'm also like, wow, you're still around. You're still
right. I didn't realize y'all could get up and do that. Oh, similarly. Okay, actually, let's just move on to My Chemical Romance because I'm getting too ahead of myself now. Okay, so before we get started, let me explain what My Chemical Romance is for any listeners who might not know, although I'm sure you all know. My Chemical Romance is an American rock band from Newark, New Jersey. I didn't know they were from Newark. The band's current lineup consists of lead vocalist Gerard Way, lead guitarist Ray Toro, rhythm guitarist Frank Lero, and bassist Mikey Way, who is Gerard's younger brother. They're considered one of the most influential rock groups of the 2000s and a major act in the pop punk and emo genres, despite the band's rejecting of the latter label. So don't call them pop punk because they don't like that. But and I get it. I feel like I wouldn't call them that necessarily, not off the top of my head.
No, absolutely not. I don't even think they liked being referred to as emo in the beginning. I feel like I remember there was some friction there. I don't remember what they actually wanted to go by.
Sorry, they actually didn't care about pop punk. They didn't like emo. I always forget what latter is. That's my fault.
I mean, definitely like pop punk wouldn't fit. I mean, all-time low, yes, but yeah, the whole genre is a little interesting because you have like even before times of My Chemical, like before our generation, I guess. Like I can't even name the bands, but I feel like there's always like a battle between like what is considered emo, and they for sure like for some reason did not feel like they were in that category in the beginning.
Interesting. I didn't dive too deep on that, but I would like to know why that is, because when I think of like the early 2000s emo kind of movement, if you will, My Chemical Romance is the front runner for what I would consider emo music. Like I can't even think of another band that like squarely sits within what I consider emo like My Chemical Romance does. Paramore skews a little bit more what I consider pop punk. Bands like Panic at the Disco, more alternative. There's alt, but like even more in the alt genre. Fall Out Boy, more pure rock-esque, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's My Chemical Romance. I'm like, this is emo. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I love y'all still. I'm sorry. Maybe they gotten over that now. Maybe that's like an old thing. I don't know.
I'm sure they had to have accepted it at some point.
Right. Because like y'all are the leaders of this. Honestly,
they are. Yeah. They're the kings of emo.
Truly. What's your first song that you heard by My Chemical Romance?
I mean, it was probably Helena.
Okay.
Like, yeah, probably just like was MTV still then? I feel like when I first learned about them, it was probably from the music video, the iconic music video, and then from there it was just like a rabbit hole from there. I feel like because I was probably like 12 or 13 maybe when that came out, so it was definitely like I felt like I don't know, I was a little young maybe to be listening to some of that, but Yeah, probably 12 or 13, probably just from TV. And then, like in those days where there was like pure volume and stuff, like I was more of like a Fueled by Ramen girl. So like Fall Out Boy, Paramount, like Gym Class Heroes, Academy is like that kind of stuff. Yeah. But then once I got into high school, I had older friends that were like 2-3 years older. I would hang out with them. I was a band nerd. So like I hung out with the older kids in the band. And I feel like they really introduced me to more of my chem, and then I started like digging into their older album from there. I was in like, I don't even know if you know this about me, but I was in like pop punk emo bands, like playing bass guitar in high school.
I did not
and like
know
we
that.
Would cover like, yeah. So I played bass. I literally learned bass. I owned the same one that like Pete Wentz was selling, the like one with the bat on it.
I love it.
And I remember one of the first songs that we covered, because I was in the band with my older friends, we covered Head First for Halos, which is off of their first album, I believe. And that just like, I don't know, they like kind of changed my trajectory of music a little bit. But I was like a Hot Topic, like Fueled by Ramen, emo girly by that time.
Same.
So yeah, I think Helena technically, I think, was like my like the more mainstream song when they were popping off, was technically my first, I think. What about you?
Got you. Mine was Welcome to the Black Parade. I think that was like,
okay.
I think that was after Helena.
Yeah, because Helena's on
Three Cheers.
Yeah.
And then Welcome to the Black Parade is on Welcome to the Black Parade. I believe that's the name of that album, right?
Yeah. Right? I like to yeah. I think it's just called The Black Parade.
Oh, The Black Parade. Yeah. And I was obsessed with the song. I was in 6th or 7th grade. I can't quite remember. And it was just everywhere. I was like, wow, it felt like it was such a big song. It's really long. And it ebbs and flows through the song. It has crescendos and lows. And it's just such a good song. And I love it.
Yeah.
And that was
it's kind of, I don't know why I just thought of this, but it's like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes. Yes.
That's like one of the things I love about them, because they're really deep into like concept albums, like really dedicated to them, and like very theatrical, like over the top with their, not just their music videos, but even their concerts. Because I think I went to the tour in San Francisco for the Black Parade, and like they were all dressed up, like it felt like you were like a part of that world,
right?
But yeah, Black Parade is probably my favorite album out of all of them, which is also their most popular, but whatever, it's the best.
100%. No, that definitely makes sense. Sometimes it's popular because it's the best,
like, and like that album's like, I can't skip a song on it. They're all good.
So what is your favorite My Kim song?
Oh god, that is like an impossible question. This is so hard.
It is very hard.
I am trying to, like, the ones that come to mind often are like Cancer, which is sad, or like, I can't even answer this question. There's so many. Probably Cancer, which I think when I saw them in Dallas last year, they closed with it. Just cried.
Oh,
I was fine the whole.
I also saw them.
Yeah, did you go in LA? Yeah. I was supposed to see them in LA, but then we moved to Dallas, and then we just bought tickets here. Luckily, there were tickets. Nice. But yeah, we saw them. It was amazing. Oh. I'll never forget it. But yeah, probably like Cancer, or if I go the opposite way, something like Teenagers. I could not pick one. There's that whole album.
That's very fair. That is super fair. I get that. Mine is Famous Last Words. It's like very angsty. That one is such an angsty song. God, I love it. One's good. It's like I don't even know the word. The way that he's using his voice on that one, he's like groaning a little bit in the beginning through the words. It's so good. I love the angst. It's pure angst.
Oh, so good. They're all good.
Speaking of Teenagers, I was going to ask your least favorite song. And mine just
is that yours?
To be Teenagers.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I mean, I feel like I have a like soft spot for it because that was another song or band like covered, so it's just like ingrained in my mind.
You're a musician, so you have.
My least favorite, though, I mean, I guess if it was my least favorite, I probably wouldn't even remember the name of it. Right? I mean, it's gonna be bad, but not bad, but. Danger Days, like, we just can agree that maybe we didn't need that album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't even name like half the songs off of that album because I wanted to forget them. Maybe.
I know.
Maybe that's a little harsh, but like you have like, what is it? Like Na 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 is on it, Planetary Go, and like I can't even think of like another one. But I try to listen to it, and I just can't.
Yeah, something you can't make yourself like.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
But I like really anything. Like, I can't even call one out from like the Black Parade because I love them all. Yeah. And then 3 Cheers, like I don't know. I don't think there's one that I'm just like, oh, I hate it. Mm-hmm. But I do wish like Danger Days is not what it is.
We wish for Danger Days to be removed from the discography. Thank you very much.
A little bit. Like, I get it. He's a comic book guy. He was trying his new concept and anything. Like, I see, and I don't mind when bands like pivot the sound or anything, but I think when it just was so left field and so different and just didn't have that same like emotion to it. I feel like maybe that's I just was not connecting with it.
Yeah.
And like some bands are good at, like, you think of like say Paramore, like they've kind of changed their sound. They've had more pop albums, and like now with the more recent one, it's skewing a little bit more like rock, but it still feels like Paramore throughout. Yeah. And in terms of Danger Days, it just felt like a complete departure in some ways, which like, I don't know. It was like so long ago. It was like a decade ago when that came out. So I don't know. I still haven't been able to like get into it.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They gave us enough other songs to just love and enjoy.
Truly. They really have. And I do feel like Danger Days is where they did start to skew into the pop portion of it a little bit more in a way that they hadn't before. This
is like movie music, you know, 100%. Like it's in the trailer, 100%. Like it's played in the trailer, like stuff like that.
Like some type of movie like that. It definitely belonged in one of those 2010s superhero, like adult superhero movies, not like a Marvel one, obviously, like Kick-Ass or something of the sort.
No. Yeah, I mean, obviously the music videos from the one that I can remember is still like very theatrical, still like impressive, but like the music it just wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. And then they quit on each other, I guess.
Yes, no, it definitely
It was time for them to bow.
I really liked Na 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 though. That one, the single.
I mean, it's catchy.
It is
like,
really,
it's fun, and like catchy. When I play it live, it's fun.
Yeah,
and that's why we can remember that one. Yeah, the rest of them, who could say what was on that album? I don't know.
I used to have this was right when I was transitioning from MySpace over to Facebook, so I was kind of using Facebook wrong. But Facebook has this section where you can put a quote that you really like. And the quote that I put was from Na Na Na, and it was, "Everybody wants to change the world, but no one wants to die." Who the fuck did I think I was? I swore I was a revolutionary. I swore whole life God. I thought I was a revolutionary, okay? Were you willing to die, girl? No. So what are you talking about? So what are you talking about? But yeah, I really like that one. Enough to put a quote from it in my Facebook.
I mean, you felt it. You were like, this is me in this moment.
It was in my chest. And if it sounds like you felt it when you saw them live, you had a good time at the show.
Oh, I had so much fun. Like, and my husband, Vadim, like, he is also a big fan. Like, he grew up in Ukraine, and still that was like one of his favorite bands. Didn't know what they were saying because he didn't speak English at the time. Like, he didn't learn English until he was like later in his teens. But yeah, I was surprised that he like even knew who they were, and like he loves them. But he was a big like guitar guy, so he's like learned a bunch of their songs. But we were both there, just smiles on our faces, like screaming the entire time. It was so much fun.
That is,
and I was just amazed. I was like, "Is this a dream?" Like I just never thought they would come back, or I'd be able to see them again. Yeah. So we had a good time. The crowd was cool. Like people were really dressed up. Like I felt like I went back in time because of people dressing up like our age, like as scene kids. Yes. And I was like, ooh, I loved it.
Did you dress up?
I was like, everyone made a trip to, no, I think I just wore like all black or something, but naturally. I didn't do anything. I do have the Black Parade jacket though.
You do? Like that the white one, or it's a black one with the white,
the band jacket?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I bought it when I
nice.
was a teenager probably from Hot Topic, and I still have it because I'm like, one day maybe like for Halloween or something. So I still
Ooh,
have it. Actually, don't know if I even fit it.
that is
I might,
a really good
but I
Halloween.
have it
Yeah.
in case I ever want to break it out. I'm like, I'm not wearing this to the show. It's a little too hot and a little much,
It's
but I
fair.
have it.
Fair.
Did you dress up? I feel like I saw a photo of
I
you.
did dress up. I dressed. I wouldn't say that was like dressing up, but I definitely
Yeah.
dressed in a way that I don't normally dress. So yes, I had on not this My Chemical Romance shirt. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the shirt that I have on now. And Jenay also has on a very similar shirt. I had on my acid wash version of this shirt. It's very similar, but it doesn't have the little.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it doesn't have this little guy on it, and it's just like a little acid wash. I wore that, and for Halloween, I was Gwen Stefani from the Holla Back Girl music video, and in that music video, she wears like these really big black baggy pants with pockets all over them, and I felt like that paired well, so I wore that.
Oh, cute.
And then I just, did my makeup a little bit more emo-y than I normally would. I don't usually wear eyeliner, put my little eyeliner on, did black lipstick, had a great time.
Oh, love it. Yeah, was your show good?
It was really good. Also, I was shocked at, first of all, Gerard Way being, I think I found out he was like 40 something, like 45.
I just looked it up. He's 46.
40.
I'm like, that man's almost 50. That's I didn't realize he was like that much.
Me
older.
neither. I don't know. I had no idea. I thought he was like, I don't know why. I thought he was just in his 30s. I don't know why. I thought he'd be in his 30s.
I don't know why either. Yeah. Like late 30s, early 40s. Early like 40.
40s max. 40. Right. Like early. No, that man is pushing 50. And he was so high energy at the show. I was like, wow, this is impressive. I heard that he like really had to get in shape in order to be able to perform like that.
Yeah, I would imagine. Because I mean, I've seen like photos of him like in between. I'm like, he looks a little tired.
Yeah, he does look a little tired. He looks a little tired.
Looks a little tired, which I mean, he's busy.
Which is fine, like,
yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. But yeah, he really was like really. I felt like we were back in the days. Like, it didn't feel like a difference, really.
None at all. His vocals were very strong too. I was shocked.
He sounded great. Yeah, I was like a little nervous. I was like, I don't know what it's gonna be like in any of it. So yeah, they did great. They blew me away. I had no idea that he actually had vocal abilities. I hate to say that. That sounds so bad. But I just didn't expect it. Like I was like, oh, we'll go. Was that your first time seeing them?
That was my first time seeing them.
Oh my God.
So amazing. I like didn't go to my first concert until college. So I had like missed everything pretty much. So yeah, I didn't have any real expectations. I was like, yeah, I expect to see the band and I'm sure Gerard will perform. I don't know how it's going to go. It went fucking crazy well. First of all, he was running around the stage. He had on a very cute outfit. He had on like a cheer outfit, like a plaid skirt.
Oh, he got the cheer outfit. Yeah, I was like looking at photos. He was just like, I don't even remember exactly. It was just a regular outfit, like nothing crazy. Because I saw he was wearing like dresses. Yeah, we didn't get a cool outfit. We got a regular one. I was like, is it because we're in Texas?
But you know what? That
I know he did. I think he did dress up for the Austin show, which would make sense because that's basically the LA
it's liberal.
Of Texas.
Yeah,
but yeah, he didn't. Which I would like to think he wouldn't care wherever he was. Yeah. Maybe that was just a choice. He just didn't feel like it that day. Yeah, but yeah, we just got like a regular outfit. But the set was so cool with like the town or whatever it was, like the city in destruction. And
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the Foundations of Decay. Speaking of.
Oh my god! Oh yeah. I wanted to ask you about that.
I want to ask you too.
I did not love it.
Same. Unfortunately.
Okay. I probably listened to it like 3 times, really trying to make myself like it, and then never listened to it again until like the show. Yeah. When they performed it. It felt like them, but I don't think it satisfied me. It was too, I don't even know, like it was too subdued. Yes. I don't even know the word.
That's the word for me. Yes, it takes a really long time for the song to get going. First of all, the song's really long.
Yeah,
when you're dropping your first single, I'm talking like I have some music experience, like I'm a fucking A&R, like I know something. But when you're dropping your first song in like a really long time, I kind of need you to give me like a best of moment. Like I need to remember why I fucked with you in the first place. I don't need to be inched in for the first minute where it's just like subdued and quiet and then it kind of gets into it. Please. You know who else did that one time? Billie Eilish did that with, I can't remember what that song was. It was one of her more recent popular songs.
Was it when she like was blonde all of a sudden?
And it was during her blonde era, yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I don't remember which song it was, but like the first full minute or so of the song is very slow and quiet, and then it picks up toward the middle. I literally almost didn't even get to the middle because I was like, I don't want to hear this. Same thing happened with Foundation of Decay. I almost did not make it to the part where it picks up because I'm like, I don't want to hear this.
And it hurts to say, like, you want it to be good. And then like once that happened, I was like, oh, is there going to be another album? Like they must be releasing it around the tour, right? Or right after the tour. Crickets. I don't think we're getting anything.
I don't think we're getting it either. I think they might be over it. I think they might be like, okay, I'm sure that tour probably took a lot out of them. And then to go and release an album too, they're probably like, listen, you asking for a lot. Gerard is 50. He don't have time.
He's got more shows and movies to make and some more comics to write.
He's
doing
write.
His thing.
Like he's busy.
He's doing fine.
You know, right. He's doing just okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted to like Foundation of Decay, and I feel the same way. It very much did feel like them. It just didn't do it for me.
No, I needed them to come out swinging, like with something just really powerful, and it was mid, I guess.
Right. Not super powerful, but not.
Like, okay, I guess I'll go listen to Black Parade again.
Right. Sure. I'll go take my talents where they're welcome. Thank you. Belting my heart out at Black Parade.
They do, this is random, but they do have like my favorite emo version of a Christmas song though.
What? They have an emo Christmas song?
You never heard it?
What is it?
They covered All I Want for Christmas Is You.
You're joking.
No, it's my favorite. Between that and like Fall Out Boy has one too. That's like an original one, which I'm blank. Oh, it's like You'll Shoot Your Eye Out or whatever. Like Fall Out Boy has one too. There's all those like back in the day they used to do like emo Christmas albums, and it was like a compilation of all these bands covering like classic Christmas songs or like doing original holiday songs. And yeah,
I had no idea.
My chem has one, and it's so good. This is like so random from what we were talking about, but it just like popped in my mind.
No, this is very helpful.
But you need to listen to it.
I'm like a Christmas girly for real. I love Christmas so much.
Well, add that into the rotation.
That's definitely getting in rotation. I just added that just now, so I won't forget when Christmas comes around. Because I definitely need to hear that. Oh, I'm always looking for something fresh and new in my little Christmas rotation, so that's helpful. And Fall Out Boy has one. I didn't know that either. Very helpful. Thank you for letting me know.
It's the best.
Yeah. Wow. I wish I could see what you looked like during your emo phase, during your My Chemical Romance emo phase.
Just imagine straight hair, side bangs, sometimes in little like a little, you know, the pathetic little like ponytail with like barely any hair.
Yes. Oh God, I had that bad.
I used to, band tees. Me and my friends like went through a phase where we were like wearing ties on Fridays to school, like that kind. Okay,
yeah,
that must have been a thing because we were doing that.
Not on Fridays, but yes, I wore them regularly to school.
Yeah,
and my
it was
little
an
uniform
interesting
shirt.
Time.
What a time! And I really thought I was like eating with my tie, with my little white button-up uniform shirt, and my little skirts. I really thought I was eating with my fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the fingerless glove moment?
Oh yeah. Heavy. I did.
The mesh ones.
I like only wore Converse. I would like draw on them with Sharpie.
Yeah.
Did you have like a scene name? Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't have a scene name. You had a scene name?
Yeah, because back in the day it was like on like MySpace. Oh my God, back in the day. I sound so freaking old. Like MySpace times people would have like their scene name, or they would like have like the X and the like the RAW or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, because my last name, my maiden name's Ross. And I wanted to like do something with that. So I literally like my handles on probably like AIM or whatever it was on like Instagram. Or I guess Instagram wasn't I don't even know. But like on AIM and stuff, it was Riot Ross after Paramore.
Riot Ross.
Riot Ross.
I love
with an
it.
exclamation point.
I love it.
Yeah. And I used to write that on my shoes.
Riot Ross. Wow. I love that.
What a time. What a time. Yeah.
I might need you to send me some photos from the era so I could drop it on the Instagram. When
oh my God. I'll try to find I'll like dig through my private Facebook albums.
Oh yeah. Do you remember Photo Bucket?
Yeah, I used to have that.
Wow. I wonder what's on my Photo Bucket.
Photo Bucket and Tumblr. Which I know Tumblr is like still a thing now, but my whole life was on there.
Yeah. Didn't they get rid of Tumblr's like explicit content or something?
Did they? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure if that's still held up, but yeah, toward a few years ago, Tumblr cleared all pornographic content or anything else, and people were pissed about it. So people were like, "We're not using this anymore." But I don't know. I don't know if Tumblr Hive is still around and still active like that.
I feel like it is. I wonder if they're still like saying all their business on there like I did, because I definitely shared way too much.
Oh no, not an overshare on the Tumblr.
Between the reblogs and just yeah, no, I had to take that shit down.
Definitely feel that. I think they got rid of the Tumblrs if you didn't keep yours active when they merged from.
Great.
Yeah, I think they got rid of it.
So light it on fire.
You should be safe. You should be safe. We shouldn't be able to find out too much about you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then for my final question, do you have any theories as to why so many of us, Black people in particular, had an emo phase that included My Chemical Romance so strongly?
That is a good question. I mean, when they were really hot back in the day, like, I mean, their themes that they write about are very dark. Like, I think darker than I even realized at the time. I think I was really just vibing and trying to be like edgy and like, I don't know, like in that scene. Yes. But when you really think about it, there's a lot of themes of just suicide, depression, grief. Like there's a lot of grief of, I don't know, like specifically like who maybe they lost like family members and stuff like that, or friends they knew. But I don't know, I feel like we gravitated towards that because back then we didn't talk about our feelings to anybody. I mean, at least in my case, like I wasn't talking to my family really about my problems or like, I don't know. I feel like that was our way to feel connected in a way where we weren't alone. Like I know, like personally, I know some people who say like My Chemical Romance saved their life. Like their music got them through hard times, even if it is like super dark and might take you to a dark place. I feel like in some ways they still were able to pull people out of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For like Black people specifically, I feel like it might be that where we gravitate towards something where maybe we're not getting that support from home and the discussions aren't really happening. So we gravitate towards music that is talking about those themes, even if maybe we can't relate entirely to like what the real story is, but there's something there. Like it's just an outlet for us.
That definitely makes sense. I definitely get that.
Do you have any theories?
I don't know. I usually do have a theory for the topics that I talk about or the bands or something of the sort. But My Chemical Romance in particular is a bit of a conundrum to me. It seems like something that's a little bit more removed from some of the other bands that like, I'm like, yes, I could point out why I think Black people like Paramore. I could point out why I think Black people like Panic at the Disco. I could point out Fall Out Boy. And then I get to My Chemical Romance and I'm like, I don't really know. But I think what you said is really good. There's just, at least in my perspective, I don't want to say this is happening for everybody, but from my perspective, I was definitely dealing with some heavy things around being the only Black person in very white spaces or one of very few Black people in very white spaces. And I think listening to music that was talking about grief or heavier themes of that time was helpful for me, even though I wasn't quite aware that I was feeling so heavy about it until I got out of that space. And I was like, damn, that was not fun. And I think it was just kind of just like, oh yeah, not fun, but angsty and like good. And My Chemical Romance was definitely feeding that angst and making me feel a little bit understood. Like, it's like, yes, I'm also angsty. I'm really fucking angsty. I don't know why, but I am.
Yeah.
And it was doing that for me. But I am so surprised when just like so many Black people are like, no, My Chemical Romance. I'm like, yes. Okay, so
it's surprising.
We're all, the whole point of this podcast is we're not a monolith, but are we? I'm joking, we're not.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But
because I feel like growing up, like I didn't know other Black people that listen. I feel like once I was older and like in a different space and like, I guess out of my own community, like I grew up in a very small town. It was very diverse, but they weren't like the only people I knew listening to emo music or My Chem were like the white kids I hung out with that listened to that. But then like getting older, I started meeting other people like you that had listened to it. And I was like blown away because when you go to their shows too, it's like pretty predominantly white still.
It sure was.
Yep. But we're out there. I like check and I'm like, oh, I see you. It's a couple. We're here. We're taking up space. Like we can be here too. Yeah.
Wow. My Chemical Romance is just really good. I'm sad that they don't like to be called emo because they just feel so decidedly emo. And being emo was really fun, big part of my childhood. I thoroughly enjoyed my little emo time and still identify as such often, as you see with all my brand merch.
I'm like, I don't know what I was so emotional about or like you say angsty about back then. I'm like thinking about nothing like crazy really happened to me when I was a teen. But I don't know, I still like really gravitated towards it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate My Chemical Romance for all that you have done for me.
So do I.
It has been a good time. And thank you so much, Jenay, for coming on this episode.
Thanks for having me. I loved chatting with you and just to see your face. And, you know, I'm proud of what you're doing here. It's fun.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to see your face. I can't wait for you to come back just so that we can hang out just briefly. I'll see you next year. When you make it back next year, that'll be good.
Yes.
Can you tell folks where they can find you on the internet and talk about any projects you have coming up or anything else?
Yeah, my handle is the same across everything now. I just changed it because I got a new name. So it's at Jenay Zhyrov. It's JENAYZHYROV. So that's on everything on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm now on YouTube, so I'm doing the YouTube thing. So if you like just talks about freelance stuff or books, I'm a big reader. I talk about books on there, like travel stuff, lifestyle stuff. So I'm in that game now. That's where you can find me.
Jenay is a big reader, y'all. Jenay, while I have you, I'm just gonna ask you real quick. Is there any like one fiction book that you would recommend that I read? I'm in like a drought right now. And so I'm trying to find like a fiction book.
Have you read Queenie?
No.
Yet? I think you would love Queenie.
Okay.
The main character is Black, but based in the UK. It's very chaotic. You might not like her at times, but it's a phenomenal book.
Okay.
It's so good.
Queenie.
I think you'd like it. Queenie.
Y'all check it out.
Yeah, the author, I think, just came out with another book called People Pleaser. I'm blanking on the author's name, but I haven't read that one yet. But I feel like you'd like Queenie.
Okay, for sure. Y'all check that out. Yeah. I'm trying to make it so we all have something to take away from my little question because, yes, I will definitely be reading Queenie. I feel like I'm in like I haven't read a fiction book in a very long time. I gravitate toward nonfiction, but I want to escape lately. I'm like, I've had enough.
Fiction's the best way for that. I used to be like exclusively reading nonfiction and then I got burnt out. Like there's only so much learning and healing you can do in a period. So like you got to go to fiction from time to time. So I'm definitely in my fiction now.
Go on Jenay's Instagram and check out her highlights for books and stuff.
Thanks. You can also, that's another thing, I guess. You can subscribe to my newsletter. Thank you for being here. I do more like in-depth book reviews there. And I also talk about the shows I'm watching, the music I'm listening to, and other stuff that is applicable to my life and how to be just more joyful because we need that.
We do. Do you have any pieces that you've written that you are particularly proud of that you would like for people to read? No pressure if you do not. But...
I feel like, I mean, my one about moving to Dallas is probably one, just because that was such a big transition and I had a lot of feelings about it. There was another one I wrote about learning how to bike ride as an adult. Like I literally learned how to bike ride at age 29,
really?
I think. Yeah, and it was all about just how you're never too old to try and learn new things, no matter if you're embarrassed about it. So I learned at 29 and I wrote about it. I posted on Instagram about it. I took everyone along the journey, and that was, I feel like, impactful for people to be like, oh yeah, there's all these things I want to do, or things I used to do like as a kid that I let go and now I want to do now. So that's another good one.
And did you learn how to ride the bike? Like you...
I did. Have I ridden it since then? No. Okay. I like rode a lot in like 1 June of like a couple years ago, and then I haven't been on a bike since. That's so fair. I might have to relearn a little. But they say like it's like riding a bike. You shouldn't have to. So.
You get it. Yeah, I think if you spend like I would be very interested to see if that holds up when you're 29 learning to ride a bike. If you get on it a couple years later, can you still ride it? Let me know.
I will. Yeah. I've been thinking about it because I went to Austin for my birthday and there's so many people on bikes or scooters. And I'm like, I should probably try to see if I can ride a bike again and maybe take advantage of this new skill I have late in life.
Oh, yeah. You did just have a birthday pass too. Happy belated.
Thanks.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I told you happy birthday, but yes. Also happy belated.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
thanks.
Y'all know where you can find me at BPLP Pod across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I think those are the only social media platforms that matter. Yeah. You can email me at blackpeopleloveparamore@gmail.com with, the normal stuff, recommendations, hate mail, feedback, anything else. And that's it. Thank you for listening, y'all. Bye.